Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, whatever time you come across my video, whatever country you are watching me from, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. For my returning subscriber, thank you for being there for me. For those of you who are not subscribed, please try to subscribe. So anytime I put up a video, you'll be the first to watch my video. You'll be the first to watch my video. So today I'm not so today I really go to work because I'm not feeling fine. I'm not feeling fine, I'm very sick. So I just say let me just make this video about Oscar. I know that TikTok popular guy will pass on. May gentle soul continue to the rest. So I go put say see people dey talk this one end one, this one the resource. The real waiting, with the true story don't come out. The true story don't come out. Percy, wey fit reach Oscar family, wey come Oscar family come talk to this guy, na YouTuber, Daniel True Crime, na him be the channel. I think na check that guy. They really talk good thing. So the real source don't come out. This guy don't go bring the truth. He sef say when people dey talk, he no understand. He go the family ask direct, go bring the truth. Oscar no for Asaba. So I go dey put the video, then I watch for myself. This world what we dey so too deep. Nobody to trust, so nobody to trust. This Oscar really struggle to dey alive. He fight, he battle. Ever since he eat poison. Now that poison, the same poison, and he pass away. May he gentle soul rest in peace. May he continue to rest with our Papa God. Mine put Daniel YouTuber, where he talk about, where he bring the truth out, where he go Oscar family, where they tell him the whole truth, not you get the truth. So I put the video. So if today now first one you see my video, may I don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And may I don't forget to pray every time, because God first. I love you, Mama. Bye bye. Might put the video for now.
To hear from a family member or a close source as to what the situation might be, because I have questions and I know many other people have questions too. Instead of relying solely on speculations, I reached out for more answers, and boy, did I get way more than I bargained for. I got to learn of his last moments before his death, how he passed, how he was struggling with his neck, fighting for his life, even up to the last words he said before he passed. It's not a very easy thing to listen to, and I guess that is why members of his family are mostly silent, because the situation is bigger than anyone can imagine. It's deeper and frankly mysterious. So these are a few things I am allowed to share for those who care to know the truth. Oscar was first diagnosed of food poisoning in December of 2021. It was said he had returned to his hometown in Asaba because he has a place in Lagos, so he came for the holidays in Asaba. Usually whenever he is in Asaba, he's being called out by friends to hang out. And many of these friends were people who know him from TikTok. People who knew his popularity, people who know that he's an influencer and is a big shot on the internet. The family complained that he was always being called out at night to go and hang out, to go and drink, to go and chill with the friends. Many of who were not exactly like power friends or tight friends. These were just, like I said, people who were happy that he's an internet sensation. And Oscar clearly had a good heart, and so he would accept this invitation and go out to hang out with these people who wanted to hang out with him because they see him as a celebrity. Oscar's sisters were clear that they were not comfortable with the fact that he was always going out at night to hang out with these people. They had bad feelings about the people he was hanging out with. And eventually, one night in December, a particular girl called him out and he went out to hang out with the girl and some other group of people. Even though the family, they've not really identified who this girl is, but they know that it was that night that the whole poisoning started taking effect. So that night in December when Oscar went to hang out with his friends was the night it all began. It was said when he came back home, he started throwing up and started having running stomach. Now, another thing to put in mind is that, yes, Oscar had an underlying condition. He had ulcer, but the ulcer was managed properly. He was taking his medication and he was also, eating early. So I feel like maybe the food poisoning and the ulcer together was, a bad combination. However, that night, immediately he came back from hanging out with a friend after a particular girl that nobody could identify up to now invited him to hang out. He started throwing up, he started stooling, he was restless. The night was just a miserable night for him. And so when they went to the hospital confirmed that it was food poisoning. Again, like I've said in my previous videos regarding this case, food poisoning can happen without someone instigating it. However, for this situation, we don't know for a fact if someone actually poisoned his food or drinks. But it's safe to believe that since it was that night it happened, since it was that night he started, and that night he had gone out to hang out with a group of people where he ate and drank, there is a big chance and there is a big possibility that someone could have poisoned him. And I feel like that is how the family concluded that someone most likely poisoned him. And I kind of want to agree with them. If I was to be one of the family members, I would feel the same way. I would feel like someone had poisoned my brother. Well, he eventually got treatment and the poison was neutralized and he was in his medication. Over time to the following year, he started feeling better. But then he wasn't exactly completely healed or cured from this poison. And I think this is where it gets mysterious, because according to the source, the attack or the poison effect only mostly happened to him at night, midnight to be specific. It's almost as if it had a timing, because by daytime he's well and healthy, but by midnight he's battling and struggling for his life. And I guess this consistent battle at night was what made his family believe that this could have been much more than just a physical poison. Because obviously he kept going back to the hospital and the doctors kept saying that he was cured, he was fine, the poison is no longer in his body. Yet, at night, he's fighting for his life because of the effect of the poison. It was at this point that the family knew that they had to seek help somewhere else to know who could have been behind this. So it was said he, along with his family members, were able to seek help with someone who could foretell, a foreseer. And it was that foreseer that informed them that the people behind his poisoning were his close friends. No name were called, but descriptions were given. And in all the descriptions, Oscar was able to match them and recognize the descriptions that the seer gave. And it's almost as if there were about 5 suspects in the realm. The seer saw 5 different people who had a hand in poisoning him, in which one of them was a friend. He was best man at the wedding. One was a guy who lived in his compound, while the other ones is unclear, but there was a lady amongst all of them. But what is ironic is that the lady who took him out the night the poison started was not among the people the seer described, because according to what was said, Oscar said that particular girl could not hurt a fly. So obviously the Oscar did not think that was the girl that could have done it. So I don't know, that was what was said. So now knowing the people behind it, I guess it was time for Oscar to mostly start avoiding them. Oscar never really confronted them. He just focused on making himself better. He wanted to get well, he wanted to heal and avoid these people. But then the attack continued. Every midnight he was suffering that attack. There were times he was even afraid to sleep, because by midnight the whole poison effect begins to disturb him. So around May, towards a few days before he would eventually pass, Oscar would go back to Asaba, to the village, because the situation was getting really serious. It was when he got home and the things took serious effect. It's not clear, but I want to believe he was taken to the hospital. And that was when the family that was with him during his last moment, it was said Oscar was really, really in the worst of the situation. He was holding on to his throat as though someone was strangling him, and he kept saying that they were here. This is really scary. This is like the scary part of the story, honestly. He kept saying that they were here, 4 or 5 of them, and asking for them to call the pastor or the prophet or something. But the family were struggling to understand what to do. They didn't know what to do. I don't know if anyone can know what to do in this situation, it's just a very helpless situation. So he struggled, he was just a shadow of himself. And before he gave up, it was said, the last thing he said was that he would fight. Those were believed to be the last words he said. I don't want to go into more details. There were some extra details that I'm going to not put here, and I hope you guys forgive me for that, but that's basically all. But to give you an explanation to those details, it was very obvious that Oscar was really fighting to stay alive. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what pain he must have been feeling, but something was clear. This young man was not ready to go. He was not ready to die. And I think this is the first time I am believing that people most likely die untimely. And even when I had a discussion with a few people, some people were like, there's a chance that he may have even died long before he passed. Oscar was really willing. He was fighting to be alive. But for some reason, the situation, the condition, the whatever it is that was going on with him took the best of him. And that was it. That is it. So basically now the question is, what would the family do? Since the family know the people believed to have had a hand in this poisoning, what are they going to do now? Are they going to go after these people spiritually? Well, from what I got from the source that I spoke to,